evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 12 of the Monday Night UK&I Skip Barber series, live here on RaceSpotTV in association with the Calm Zone. Tonight we are racing at the Detroit Grand Prix of Belle in Detroit, Michigan, United States. It's daytime today, in the middle of the day, so no darkness. It's 77 degrees Fahrenheit in the sky, 106 degrees Fahrenheit average on the track at the moment, and it's mostly cloudy, so even though it's a little bit slippier, I think we're going to be in for a great race here today. At the moment, 39 cars signed up for the session. I believe it's going to end up being about 37 because 2 people have resigned already. Actually, only 1. Somebody just jumped back in, so that's all good. The driver is currently out making their last laps at the qualifying session here, so have to see how that plays out. But at the moment, it's Benny Simonson on pole position yet again, so we'll see if he'll take his, what will that be, 10th pole position in 12 races, I think. Those of you who joined us last week saw that we had a little bit of an issue with the light, so that race is going to count, but we're going to get an extra drop week, and that means that we're also going to get an extra race, so this is not going to be the final race, which was the plan. So there will be a race next week as well. So 1 more minute to go of qualifying, Rachel, and Benny Simonson on pole position again.
Yeah, he absolutely is, Linus, and he's had a fantastic run this season, some great times, and he's looking to be the runaway champion this season. The fight being Leigh Hughes and Simon Edwards for 2nd and 3rd place. That's really where the action's been these last couple of races. Of course, Simon Edwards coming home with a 2nd last week, but Leigh Hughes, I believe he won.
He really did, and he definitely closed that gap on Benny Simonson. I believe it's down to 4 points now, but counting drop weeks, I think Simonson is going to run away with it because he's basically only had 1 bad week, and everybody seems to be done with their qualifying laps here as well. Steve Lowe is on a lap, but the time is going to run out, so let's go through the starting grid for Detroit. It's going to be Benny Simonson on pole position with a 1:43.649. Simon Edwards in 2nd, just over a 10th behind. Leigh Hughes in 3rd and Lee Anderson in 4th. Anthony P.M. Jones in 5th. Anthony Catt in P number 6. Daniel Tufts in 7th. Adam Miles in 8th. Matt Cox in 9th, and Nicholas Von Roberts rounding out the top 10. Then it's Clark Williams, Seth Brown, Christopher Miles, Dave Kirkman, Kevin Budgeon, Dave M. Dowson, Christopher Keeble, Simon Maltby, Stefan Nobis, and Mod Kiko rounding out the top 20. The rest of the grid is up on your screen. We've got 35 cars who've set a time, 37, 38 are going to line up, and the 1 second bracket that we usually go for is going to be a 1:44.6, down in the 11th place, and with the lap being nearly 2 minutes, that's still pretty decent, but it is, after all, a street circuit, somewhat of a street circuit, so field is spread out a bit more than usual. Cars are currently lining up in the grid here, still got about almost a minute until we go, and about half the field is around a little bit of a kink there down the back straight, but that's not going to be too much of an issue for them. The front straightaway is really short. It's a pretty quick turn 1, and then it's a bit sharper turn 2, and then the hard braking zone into turn 3, so that's pretty much where the action is going to begin. But Benny Simonson, as you can see here, lined up at the very front of the field, and you can see the field disappearing back there to the left behind the wall. We're still about 20 seconds to go here, Rachel.
Absolutely are, yeah. This first start of the lap is going to be huge, especially in big traffic. The guys will have a lot of trouble, a lot of cars in one small space. It's where we see the issues in the IndyCar race here too.
It definitely is. See how these guys will fare. Last time when you were here, I can't really remember when that was, but I think we had a pretty good race. But one little incident on a tight track like this, and the track will be pretty much blocked, so have to watch out for that. But here we go, the engines are revving, the red lights are on, and it's green, and away we go. You can see the flagman, they're waving the crap out of that flag up on the flag stand there, but here we go. It's Benny Simonson away with a good start here. The front 10-20 cars single file already. Definitely don't want to be side by side through this corner. It's got some side by side back there from about 15th on back, but Guys at the front are easily down now, the front straightaway. Let's see, for the first braking cylinder, there are going to be moves already being made here. Simon Edwards having a look on Benny Simonson, but Simonson going to go inside there to defend, and they're 3 wide behind them. 4 is that P number 10-ish, I believe. That's going to be a good move up the inside. That's Budgeon gaining a couple of positions up to P13 there. Kind of hard to tell everything that's going on. They're all side by side back here. And we got a car sideways that's dropping down the order. It's Dave Kirkman from 14th, and there's a crash behind as well.
Yeah, there is. Crash coming up to turn number 5, just after 5 actually.
Oh, there's a roadblock now.
Yeah,
the whole
it's
track
really
is
huge
completely
there.
blocked.
Kirkman caused, well, his incident, I should say, led to the blockage. We had 4 cars turn around, including Mod Kiko and cars around that group, Koval and Nobis as well, I believe, involved in this.
Ray Peasley's in that. I think Chapman is in. Alan Patterson is out there as well. We get a replay here coming down into turn number 3. On board here with John Torpey. And I believe it's going to happen here now, coming out of 4. They'll be crashing in front, car going sideways, 2 cars going sideways. He gets through it, thankfully. And then there's another crash up ahead, and he just can't do anything. Just ARCA brakes the whole thing, and the 464 is in that. And, well, that's a few cars. That's Ray Peasley as well. Patterson is in his, Lewis Morga. Mark Van Dalen is out. Ben Daniels, Peter Parnell. So that's about 7 or 8 cars out already. Goatley, Koval and Kiko as well, as you said. So another replay here from outside, so you can see what happened.
Yeah, really troubling crash there, but one of those things you'll get a lot of these on the street circuit, Linus. Would there be no runoff? Nowhere to go. It's like a Bathurst crash. The same thing happens. 1 or 2 cars go, and then the road's jammed up, and more cars have nowhere to avoid the crash, because if they go too early, they get hit from behind, as we do have once again side by side Simonson and Edwards. Oh, and also Lee Hughes getting involved.
Yeah, Edwards backed out there, and Lee Hughes moved up inside of him, but couldn't get that move done. So we're on lap 2 here already. So that crash is cleared off, thankfully. The front 6 guys pulled a little bit of a gap here. 7th and 8th are keeping up as well. So basically the top 10 are in a group now, and then that's where that crash happened. So sort of spread out. There are actually 12 cars in this group. Miscounting. Oh, and there's another crash. That's Daniel Tufts. He's hit the wall or hit something. So he's out of the race, and he's going to just park it on the side of the road and quit out straight away. Going to get a quick replay here. See what happened to Tufts. They're around the left-hander. And I think he might have just pushed out. Oh, he just hit the curb and lost it by himself. Up on the wall. Oh, and he clipped. 8th position there. I believe that was Cox he clipped. But I think he got through there without too much damage. So just cut it too tight on the curb and it just sent the car sideways.
Absolutely did. It's been a really tough one. Like I said, these street circuits, they require precise braking and aiming, tracking out, because if you make a mistake and run wide, you hit a wall here. No runoff, you hit a wall. Which means you've really got to place the car perfectly, otherwise you have no room for error. There are about 3 or 4 areas, I think, on this entire track where you have got an option for runoff, but they're incredibly limited even then. It's pretty small. Of course, this is around a park here on Belle Isle, and the track has to be kept pretty confined. There's not a lot of room for error. So these guys have to do everything exactly right, and we've already got to lack of black cars just ahead of our leaders now. Benny Simonson, Simon Edwards, Lee Hughes, and Lee Anderson actually having a great race. He's up ahead of Anthony PM Jones.
He is. They're having a great race here. That's Lewis Morga that they're coming up on now, and they passed the car that was coming out of the pits as well. Cat there on the back of PM Jones as well, but no moves being made on this lap. Maybe they're starting to work together now to pull away. Let's see what will happen now with Lewis Morga. It's not very easy to get out of the way, and they're getting really close to him here. Let's see where he goes. He wants to be on the racing line. If you move offline, you're basically going to be in the wall, but he's going to go straight here. See if they can avoid him coming out of the corner. Oh, he's going to do his best. He does. Good job there. Here comes Daniels as well, I believe that is. No, that's not. That's another lapped car. Yeah, that was Ben Daniels, and then Adam Miles coming through there in the 7th. But Ben Daniels is a lap down as well, so doing a good job getting out of the way there. Morgan letting everybody go. And Daniels is going to get involved with P8 and 9 here. Oh, he's just going to go straight on. He just left the track completely. I'm not really sure what he was doing there, but meanwhile back at the front, they're all over each other racing for that lead, but Simonson still holds on to it ahead of Edwards and Lee Hughes.
Yeah, he really does. It's been a really clean run for this top group of cars here, running all the way back towards Matt Cox. So far they've had a really nice run of things, and it's stayed pretty safe for them. Clark Williams being the first of those guys to kind of really be back in a second group of this one, but It's holding together really nicely for them at the moment, and it's been a pretty strong set. Lap 3 here of 14, and we do tend to see this one separate with some distance, but it does tend to pick back up again towards the end when the fighting starts, because if you lose time here at Belle, Linus, with it being so tight, you lose huge amounts of time. So you'll see second groups and third groups catching up to leaders in no time at all. Within a lap sometimes, you'll drop 2-3 seconds just from fighting a couple of corners.
Yeah, going side by side through one turn here is definitely going to cost you a lot, as we're seeing Nicholas Von Roberts here. And they're battling in front here. That's Williams on Cox, and he's going to get that move done, breaking late into the corner. And there comes Von Roberts as well up the inside. So that's going to be 2 positions lost from Matt Cox. No, Roberts is actually going to back out, so Cox is going to hold on to it. Good moves there, though. That's Williams up into P number 8 then, so definitely doing a good job there. Keeping it clean, all of these guys. And Von Roberts back there trying to get that position, but he can't find the gap on Cox just yet. He's going to have another look here, but not a lot of straight. He's almost going to bump draft him. He's going to dive up the inside, though. Here he comes. They're going to be neck and neck into the braking zone. He's going to have the outside out, but he's going to clear him before the braking zone. See if he can pull it off. He's going to get out. Oh, that's a wall for Williams ahead of him, though. Williams is out. He pushed just a little bit too hard, and that's the issue with these tracks. You push just 1 millimeter too much, and you hit that wall a ton, and that's exactly what Williams did. And he's already retired that car. Back on board with him here for the replay. You can see him here into the corner. He clips the curb, gets a bit sideways, and then that wall comes straight out into the track, and the left front suspension is just toast right away. So that's going to promote Von Roberts up into P number 8. Back at the front of Benny Simmons, and still holding on from Simon Edwards, Leigh Hughes, Lee Anderson, PM Jones, and Anthony Catt still sitting back there in P number 6.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw that with Clark Williams in the replay there. He just clipped the curb, it got him a little bit wide, and it messed up his track out location, and that was what pushed the car a little bit wider, and why if he'd had a bit of runoff, probably been fine. As here we go at the front, Simmons and Edwards. Side by side yet again, as Edwards goes to look for the outside move. Can he hang it around the outside here? It can be done on this corner, but doesn't quite get it done here, just falls back in line. Still needs to stay ahead of Leigh Hughes, and he does just that. Coming through 4 now, down towards 5. Under the Firestone banner, and now they'll come through one of the few corners with some run out, but not too much on the exit, just on the real kind of centre of the corner there. Another really, really tight corner here, one of the hardest braking zones actually, because it's left, then suddenly setting up to go into a right. And of course, we've got the inner loop here. The inner loop's a tricky one. You see those curbs, Linus? That's what got Clark Williams, and it really does place the cars in a very precarious location, because they have to balance that move. As here we go again. Edwards looking. Sits to the outside, he's alongside here, going to tighten up the entrance for him, but he falls back again. Runs it narrower, very, very close there. You've got nothing to play with.
No, you definitely don't. There's not a lot of runoffs anywhere, really, and these guys, they're just playing it right on the edge, being inches away from the wall. And a third is in the loop you were talking about. They're all single file, and now back out onto the long straightaway. Oh, Edwards, I think he might have nudged the wall slightly there. If it didn't, he did a good job avoiding it, but he lost all momentum. So Leigh Hughes now right on the back, but this is not a place where you want to make an overtake. And Edwards again really close to the wall. He must have touched it that time, I think, but it looks like he's still got speed, so have to see here. Simonson got a little bit of a gap, though, not much. That's going to close right up when they come down the front straightaway here, and then out of turn 2 down towards 3. There's going to be a little draft, so he's going to be right back up there, unless he's killed the suspension on that car, but I don't think he hit it too hard if he did touch. So see what he can do now. Leigh Hughes, though, really close to Edwards, who's going to be making a move this time. You can see how bumpy the track is there, and there's some moves being made behind as well. Adam Miles alone in 7th, and then they're all over each other for 8th, 9th, and 10th behind there in that group still. But Leigh Hughes right on the back of Edwards. He can't find an opening. He's not really close enough, so Edwards still in 2nd, not close to Simonson now, up on that curb, and well, pushing really hard. You just see how close they are to the wall, out of almost every corner, and the wall keeps coming out into the track on the exit, so it's almost like you're driving towards the wall, but then the wall is driving towards you as well, and that's one of the things that got Clark Williams earlier as well.
Yeah, it really is. It's just such an uneven layout for a track here. The wall's designed around a place that wasn't really meant to be a racetrack, but they make it work for that purpose, of course. And it really does throw something into it. Of course, this inner loop here does reduce speeds into those final corners, which is a safety measure, of course, as this front group now all over each other. An absolute dogfight here. Leigh Hughes looking for an opening for 2nd.
Yeah, Edwards made a move. He got high on the curb and had to back out, and that put Lee Hughes right on the back of him. Got Simmons in a bit of a gap. Now Anderson right on the back of Lee Hughes as well. So who's going to be first to make a move here? Simonson though got a little bit loose on the exit there. We see PM Jones had a bit of a bad exit as well. That's going to give Cat a bit of a run, but he's going to back out and allow them to go single file through the double right-hander here now onto the next little straightaway, and then there is more lap traffic up ahead. And that would be Mod Kiko, who is back on track, coming down now through turn number 1. She's still quite a few seconds ahead, so she's not going to be in the way just yet, but I think she's going to do a good job when these guys catch up. Here they come now. Simon Edwards going to try and get a good exit here out of 2. Down the straightaway, can he get a run? But Simonson obviously going to cover the inside, and he's running all the way along the wall, the whole way down the straightaway. Simon Edwards now to the outside. Last time we were here, we saw a pass being made around the outside here, and Simonson, he knows he's got enough of a gap, so he's going to move to the outside, get the optimal line. So no real run for Simon Edwards through this corner. On the back of the group, they're all over each other as well, so have to see how this plays out now. But no pass being made yet. We're on lap number 7, and these guys, they're running in the exact order that they started. I don't think there's been a single pass apart from when Edwards just nosed out Simonson on the straight but then backed out.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's one of those tracks that really does make it difficult, especially when you've got a lot of fast drivers. And we've seen a little bit further back in the field, Linus, it's really spread things out here. The difficult nature of the track, rather than fighting each other at somewhere like Spa, they're absolutely fighting the track here.
Yeah, they definitely are. There's like every corner, you can't put your car an inch wrong or your race could be over, and these guys are doing a good job at it. But Simonson seems to be having a little bit more pace than Edwards at the moment. Obviously Edwards has to use his mirrors as well when he's driving as well as attacking, so because Lee Hughes is right there and we know Lee Hughes is quick, so Edwards, he can't relax or try and set up a pass too much, because if he goes all offensive and forgets about the defense, Lee Hughes is going to pounce right away out of the next corner. But it looks like Lee Hughes lost a little bit of momentum there. Might have had to check up slightly to not run into the wall, so Edwards is going to close back up to Simonson now that he's got a bit of breathing room behind him. Into turn number 1 again, into turn number 2, and this is where he needs to set it up. He's close to Simonson down here every single time, but just not enough to get enough of a run. Now obviously Simonson gets some draft from Kiko there as well, and Edwards can't get close enough to Simonson. I wonder if he clipped that wall earlier and that might hurt him slightly. Can't see any damage on the car, but could be something in suspension that does not allow him to get the 100% maximum amount of speed in that car, but we'll have to ask him later. For now though, Simonson still leading on to lap number 8, and we've actually passed halfway already.
I think the big thing here is dirty air. It's really going to be a lot more obvious as the leaders now come past Mod Kiko here, coming out of 6. They should be doing an easy job. But a great place to catch her, actually. Perfect place to catch Mod Kiko there. As we look at a big move here from Edwards, taking advantage here, a bit of a draft as he comes up the outside. But dirty air is hugely in this, especially when you've got no run out to play with. You can't, the car gets tight, and it really affects how they're driving these things. As he tries to stick it on the outside, holds it there, holds it. Oh, nearly contact. He has to lose speed. Benny wouldn't give him an inch there.
Oh, contact!
The door, and round comes Lear Hughes. He goes to take advantage of Simon Edwards, and Lear Hughes loses the back end, as you see there, and he manages to safely recover that somehow. But whew, that was close.
I think he got a little bit of help from PM Jones there. Might not have been. I'm not really sure. It was really close between them though, but amazing job from Lee Hughes to hold on to that after Simon Edwards first tried to make a move. There you see the save from Lee Hughes, and there was no contact whatsoever. Edwards tried to make a move on Simonson, who was not having it. He had to back out. Lee Hughes made a move, and then into the next corner they basically made contact. Here you see Edwards on the inside, he just turns in across the nose, and then amazing save there, and able to avoid contact as well. So Lee Hughes now down in P number 6. He's got Adam Miles close behind him, but I don't think that's going to be an issue for him. He's been quick, so he might be able to catch up, but he's about a second and a half behind his group ahead of him. So if they start to battle again, he might be able to close in, but Simonson has a gap of just over half a second now to Edwards, so when he's not got anything in his mirrors, he might be able to pull away. We'll have to see her, but the guys behind spread it out as well now, obviously. Simon Edwards now having to defend from Anderson if he can just get close, but Edwards seems quicker in these couple of corners. He's getting closer and closer to Simmons, and maybe now down this straightaway he can close up enough to make another move. But one wrong step and the race is over, so still got to be really patient.
Yeah, absolutely. This one's completely changed its tone, and that was definitely a door being closed, I think, that time by. Something that will be recognised and remembered by cars on the track. So I'm looking to see Lee Anderson up here in third place. This is a fantastic run for him, of course. Had huge speed here today.
Definitely has. Meanwhile, here we got Christopher Keeble. We saw hitting the wall there as well was John Edwards in P15. These guys are battling it out really, really hard all over each other. Simon Maltby back here as well, looking to make up a position. But that's going to be Edwards. Oh, and there's contact. They're in the wall, and there's a 3-car pileup, and they're on top of each other. Not really sure what they're doing here, why they're not just stopping. But John Edwards kept on going from that. That was really interesting, actually. See on the replay here, Edwards pushes out, hits the wall, and then hit the wall in front of him as well. He just climbs on top of the car in front of him, and that's the 76 of Christopher Keeble. That was really, really weird. They just kept pushing. Oh, he just ran straight over the curb, plowed the wall, and they just stacked up behind him.
Yeah, it kind of did that. That was a tricky one, of course, but I mean, if you're going to try and keep going, you're going to try and keep going, of course. There's things definitely shaking around a little bit here as we now have a lap car. Right ahead of the leader in the worst place here, coming up towards 4 as he gets Royal out of the way. Safe move there, great idea. And through the come, of course, that gap for Benny might be his downfall.
Yeah, it could be. We'll have to see, but Edwards now on the back again, coming up on that lap car. Hopefully they can sort this out. John Torpy, he is in 28th place, 1 lap down, so he's still racing for position with a few people, even though they're seconds ahead. And on the front straightaway here, he just moves out of the way nicely, so a great job from him. Getting out of the way, so no big issues with that. Oh, high on the curb there for Simonson, but he's able to get it working, so not really sure how he did that, but he absolutely nailed it over the curb.
I think sometimes hitting the curbs can be a huge advantage if you hit them right. If you mean to do it, it's great, and if you mean to hit it just about amount. But typically when you're hitting the curb, you're hitting with the front of the car, which is helping turn in. But when you clip the curb with the back of the car, it's going to set it skittering across the track and loosen you up a lot. So it's about how and why you hit that curb.
Definitely is. On board here now with PM Jones, you can just see the precision at the car in front there as well. Lee Anderson, he's a little bit closer to the wall than PM Jones is through the corners, but here he comes. He's going to have a look on the outside. I don't think he's wanting to make the move down into turn number 1 though. Try and set him up here now, and then coming out of the next left-hander here, he's going to get a better exit, and then he's going to draft up to Lee Anderson and hopefully be able to make a move down into the next right-hander as we're coming to 4 laps to go. Simonson has pulled the gap on Edwards, but here comes PM Jones. Will he be able to make a move? Anderson is getting the draft as well from the guys ahead, so he's not going to get any advantage on the speed there, so not going to be able to do anything here, but he's right on the back of Anderson, so one slip up and PM Jones is going to be there and take the final podium spot away from him, at least momentarily. But now these guys right back together, and there's a 3-car train of lapped cars a few seconds up the road, so that could really come into play for these guys in a lap or two. Simonson pushing really wide, they're almost into the wall, and PM Jones getting close as well. You can just see how close he is to the wall out of every single corner. That's the precision of these guys. They're not rookies at this at all. They've been practicing. Here he comes now, PM Jones. He's going to look left, but he's going to back out again, and here comes Edwards. He's going to look to the right, but don't want to make a pass here. And so a piece flying off there. I don't know if that was of Edwards or if somebody else that was late on the track when they came by. Don't think it was from any of these guys, but these 5 now back in a massive pile again. Good speed here from Simonson, double left hand apex onto the next straightaway. Everybody inches away from the wall. They're doing an amazing job, and here we come up now on the first of these lap cars in a few corners. Looked like they were closer than they were, but actually not, so still going to be quite a while. See now Edwards down the straightaway here. Will he be able to set him up into turn number 3 this time? Will he make a move into turn number 1? I don't think he's going to be close enough to do it down here, and I don't know if you really want to do anything down here either. Right up on the back of Simonson though. Now he needs to get the exit right here. Simonson getting draft from a lap car though, so that's definitely going to help Simonson, but here they come. Edwards in second, Anderson in third. It's going to be 3 laps to go. Simonson gets the draft though from the lap car, and Edwards gets the draft off him. Edwards is going to move to the left. He's going to be late on the brake this time. No, he's going to be real early on the brakes actually and drop back in behind, and Anderson stays behind in third. So they're getting there, but they're not getting enough, sorry, to be able to do anything to Simonson. He's just too quick.
Yeah, I think it's partially that, Linus. I think, like I said earlier, it's also the dirty air really messing with the ability to get a move set up here. And that lap car's in, a really kind of bad place here for Benny, but everyone else is too far back to really take advantage of it. As you see, almost a bit of a too wide almost there with the Anderson. But really, this is a sort of situation where this is not a great situation approaching the corner, actually, but this is the sort of place where you really have to have a huge advantage or a mistake from the leader to get a good pass, because it's just such a tricky track, and being so narrow with so little option for line, it means you really have to find either a massive overspeed or that mistake. And Benny doesn't typically make small mistakes. He makes massive mistakes or he makes no mistakes. So it's either the win it or bin it mentality. Benny races hard, he is so fast, and he is so good, and I mean no disservice when I say he either makes no mistakes or huge ones. Everyone ends up having those huge mistakes, whether they're their fault or somebody else's, but Benny is so infallible that when it does happen, it's catastrophic, and that means that typically either you're involved in it or you're going to dodge it and just be lucky. So it's a very tricky circumstance here, but with a couple of laps remaining now, lap traffic getting denser and denser in front of them, not many options left for anyone to make a move from. We just saw PM Jones there get advantage and get over Lee Anderson now up into third, so those two will be fighting out for there, as the gap is just a bit big here, although those two cars ahead could be an impact with how close they are.
Definitely could, as we're seeing a replay here of Lee Hughes. He crashed out with a lap car. Well, he was a lap car as well. He was racing, I think that was, see if we can figure out who that was. The 14 of Ian Renton, the guy that was lapped a couple of laps earlier. They got it together, but using that lap car earlier was Anthony PM Jones, so he moved up to third ahead of Lee Anderson, so he's now picked up the fight with Simon Edwards. And Anderson has dropped back slightly, so I don't know if he's got some sort of damage, but Simon Edwards here looking for a gap on Simmons and 1.5 laps to go. And there is more lap traffic up the road. The next two cars to be lapped is Adam Cowell and Christopher Miles, and I think that those are the only two cars that's going to be put another lap down here. Simonson pushes really hard, really close to the wall. Simonson, we're on board here with Simon Edwards in second place, and you can see that first lap car coming up here. Is he going to move out of the way here, or is he going to be an issue in through the last couple of corners of this lap? In through the right-hander there, staying ahead. He's about half a second up the road. Oh, and Simonson gets the wall there. Simonson definitely tagged the wall with his rear left tire there. I don't know if that's going to hurt him or not, what sort of angle he hit with, but that was quite a hard hit. At the moment though, he's still got the speed and is able to keep it straight. 1 lap to go. It's white flag. It's the final lap here at Belle Isle Grand Prix of Detroit. They're sideways through the first couple of corners. The lap car gets out of the way. There's another one up the road. Here comes Simon Edwards. Is this going to be his last chance to make a move? PM Jones is right behind Edwards as well, but Edwards is not going to be close enough. He's going to have to make an absolute dive here if he wants to do anything. He's going to brake late, but it's not going to be late enough. Simonson going to hit the curb on the inside, slide out a bit. Edwards gets the undercut here. He's going to be on the inside. He's going to have to back out. You don't want to be side by side through there. Here's PM Jones as well. Going to peek up the outside of Simon Edwards. Now he's got the inside for the next corner. This is where the Hughes got spun out earlier by Edwards, but PM Jones slightly backs out. Now Anderson and Cat behind is closing in. Now Edwards up the inside of Simonson, and they're going to be side by side onto the next straightaway, but he's going to be able to clear him. Here comes PM Jones with another run on Simon Edwards.
Absolutely does. It's super close right now, coming up towards the inside loop here, and goes to the outside. Going to go for a big dive here. He's going to have to commit to this one. He's ahead here of Benny. This could be everything for Simon Edwards. Dives to the inside, has the line, will have the inside corner now. This should give him the lead now, with not many chances to really take this one back, as Benny's going to fight with everything he has. Oh no, it's going to be 3 wide. This is not a good idea on street course. My God, Linus, this is getting really close, and this could still come down to Benny, as he's going to throw a Hail Mary.
He's going to hold it around the outside, around all the apexes of the left-hander, and now he's got the inside for the next corner, but Edwards has the overspeed on the outside. PM Jones is there as well. He's not going to let Simonson get the optimal line. He's going to be late on the brakes. Then there's going to be slight contact, I believe, between Simonson and Edwards. PM Jones getting through into second place, and that could be it for Simon Edwards. PM Jones has great speed, though. Here comes Simonson back, and now Lee Anderson is in the battle as well, looking for third place here as we're coming down to the finish, and it's going to be Simonson ahead of Edwards, ahead of PM Jones. Simonson in third, Anderson in fourth, and Anthony Cat in fifth. That was really close. Less than half a tenth between PM Jones and Simonson, second and third there. What a move by Edwards, and PM Jones just sticks it in there in the last couple of corners and gets that position away. Wow, what a move. I did not expect that from PM Jones, but he just absolutely sent it in there in the second to final corner and got to drive. Wow.
Yeah, that was an incredible run at the end there by those guys, but we've still got cars coming across and finishing. Some guys a little bit further down now, just looking around, as everyone's in single file right now in individual car groupings. Trying to find any couples of cars that we may still have yet to cover, but I think this is one of those racetracks that's really separated the field out. We talked about the 1 second bracket and how it has widened up so much, Linus, on this one because of how technical a track it is. The closest cars are here are 2 seconds apart, 3 seconds apart now for the rest of the field remaining. So, honestly, that was an amazing result there at the end, and fantastically clean driving by everybody, just about keeping it just off each other. It could have gone so much worse.
Yeah, that was... Simonson got really close to Edwards there into the second to final corner. I think they might have made some contact, but that lost Simonson a bit of speed and let PM Jones come up the inside and take that second position away. That was an amazing move from PM Jones to be able to stick it in there. But post-race results, as everybody has crossed the line, we got Simon Edwards winning just under half a second ahead of PM Jones, Simonson, Lee Anderson in fourth, and Anthony Catt rounding out the top five. Then it's a 5-second gap down to Adam Miles in P number 6, Nicholas Von Roberts in 7th, Seth Brown in 8th, Kevin Budgeon in 9th, and Matt Cox rounding out the top 10. Stefan Nobis in 11th, Dave M. Dowson in 12th, Dave Kirkman 13th, Christopher Kane 14th, John Edwards in 15th, Tim Adcock 16th, Tony Stack 17th, Cesar Rizzo in 18th, Daniel Tufts in 19th, and Jonathan Rex from 34th up to 20th, so a good race from him. The rest of the result is up on your screen there, and as you can see here, 23 cars on the lead lap, so the rest had some sort of incidents, and we had that bit of a stack up at the beginning as well, which took out about 6 or 7 cars, but still, thankfully, we had some great racing at the front of the field, and those first 5 cars, within 7/10 of a second, that's a bit more than you would expect on a track like this. But still, these guys, they just never fail to amaze. I believe Simon Edwards, he usually comes in for post-race interviews, and since he won this race, I believe he wants to... finally won a race, I think he wants to shop, but he's not here yet, so we'll wait a minute for him, have a great look at this fountain, and this is what the island looks like from above. It's a great little venue, Rachel.
Absolutely is. Now, Belle Isle's a fantastic track. Very similar to Montreal in that regard, that it doubles up as a park when it's not a racetrack and is a temporary street circuit. But I honestly think it's one of my favourites, really. It's such a difficult one, and because it's so confined, unlike Montreal, which is a lot more open, this one gives me more vibes of Long Beach. You know, with the walls being right there on you, St. Pete's, Long Beach, all the great IndyCar street circuits, road circuits, they feel great to drive. And they can be a massive technical challenge, as we saw here today. They're not simple, and that pileup we had earlier, it really has vibes of those Bathurst, Long Beach, St. Pete's crashes where you haven't got time or place to go, because when they crash, you've got to slow down and stop, and if you do it too soon, you get plowed from behind by people who haven't seen it yet, and you end up in one of those very difficult circumstances where you haven't got a lot of choices, and they just develop themselves.
Yeah, they do. Like we saw there, come around the corner, all of a sudden there's 3 cars parked across the track, and you've got literally nowhere to go, just slam on the brakes, but you just can't get stopped in time. So just unfortunate for you if that would tend to happen. Well, final race next week is Circuit Park Sandward. That usually produces some good racing as well. Unfortunately, we don't have the banks yet, though. But still, that's going to be a really good race, I think.
Absolutely is. Zandvoort's always a fantastic track, and it's been one of those really good ones that's given us some exciting racing. I believe we've been to Zolder. I'm pretty sure we go to Zandvoort this year already, or am I imagining?
No, that's we went to Zolder. Yeah. No, wait. No, we went to Zandvoort on round number 4. We've already been there once. That's interesting.
They should be good at it. Here's Simon Edwards.
Finally, Simon, congratulations on that win. That was an amazing race and great patience from you there. And what a move to win the race. How was it?
Well, it turned into a move because I was just defending from Anthony, really. and then realised that Benny was reacting to me being on the outside. So once I had him reacting, then I had a chance. But I wasn't going to take any prisoners that race. I was determined to win it.
Yeah, you did an amazing job the whole race, but it looked like Simonson was just too quick. You were trying a few times, but I mean, it looked like you were trying a few times, but just couldn't get there. Is it just that the cars are too even and there's not enough straightaways, or was he just too quick?
Benny is from the real world, so he doesn't. If he thinks he can get into the corner in front of you, he'll just push it into the corner and hope you're not there. So I have to make sure I'm far enough in front of him for him not to do that real world thing. So he did run me out of room in P7. Was it 2 laps from the end where Clear died or Clear spun? It looks like a ghost contact from my side. I'm right on the inside. But yeah, I had to save the car from hitting the wall there because I was run out of room. But apart from that, it was okay.
Well, you guys did an amazing job staying alive, the top 5 there all the way to the end. It looks like the final round is going to be Circuit Park Zandvoort again, and last time we were there in week number 4, you took the victory. So what are your hopes and expectations ahead of that?
That's another driver's track for me. I really like Zandvoort. Needs a slightly quicker car than the Skippy, really, but it's still good fun through the fast section down the hill at the back. So I still enjoy it.
Great.
Yeah.
Anybody you want to send a shout out to before we let you go?
Well, now that I've won, I can I can mention my sponsor, Masternaut, and the great job that you guys do as well.
Well, thank you for that, and we'll hope to see you back here again next week, hopefully as a winner again, maybe. Well, that will be it for today. As usual, no other people coming in for interviews. Been a great race here today. Congratulations again, Simon Edwards, on the win. Next week, final at Circuit Park Zandvoort, same time, same place. Live here on RaceSpotTV. It's the Monday Night Skip Barber series in association with the Calm Zone. My name is Linus Broström. I've been joined as always by Rachel Whitefoot and Hugo Lees doing the amazing job on the cameras. So see you again next week, and until then, have a good week and stay safe. Goodbye.